Here's something unsettling. In 2009, India sat for a global education test called PISA. And out of the 74 countries that participated, India's rank was 73rd. Yes, 73rd.
And by the way, Finland was the country that topped consistently in that exam, and that's why Finnish pedagogy became popular in India too. Anyway, the only country India came ahead of was Kyrgyzstan, far smaller and poorer than India at the time. And ever since then, India never appeared for PISA again. Instead, it found faults with PISA, claiming that the questions were culturally unfamiliar to Indian students and there was a curriculum mismatch. But it did highlight a major weakness in our country's education system. If application of knowledge and reasoning by logic is assessed, Indian students stand second to last. But if content recall is assessed, India will be second to none.
It is said that the embarrassing performance in PISA became a reason foreign boards like IB and Cambridge began entering India.
Yes, because how else could the government decode the mystery genius of Western education? By allowing the influx of foreign boards, the government possibly wanted private schools to adopt and test these foreign boards and learn from them. And once a large segment of private schools adopted the pedagogy and methodology of foreign boards, government schools too, in general, could replicate and emulate the actionable steps and revamp the education system.
And no doubt, NEP 2020 came out soon after, and there was an uncanny resemblance of our NEP's terminology with the frameworks of these foreign boards.
Words like inquiry-based learning, conceptual understanding, student agency, experiential learning, critical thinking, and competency-based assessment were absorbed into India's education philosophy. But when educators from the Western world visit Indian schools, they do get a shock. The implementation of these jargons look very different and often contradictory. Still, the teacher talks and students copy. Still, exams reward memorization and books remain content-heavy. So are we painting a bullock cart and calling it Tesla?
Teachers are still not trained to ask thinking questions. And if asked to frame some, they generate the question papers to ChatGPT and download the answers too.
And the so-called conceptual questions are often an eyewash too. Keywords are visible in those long questions, and even if a student doesn't understand the situation, writing around those keywords helps score marks, because presence of keywords matters more and not the context. On the name of project-based learning, projects are still the homeworks for parents who further outsource them to stationery shops. Tuition culture is still flourishing because after 8 hours of school, 3 more hours are needed to cram the question papers.
Results in grade 10 still get inflated, and students often feel dislocated when they choose streams in grade 11 and 12. Teacher training is still counted in hours, not real proficiency.
What do you think? Would India take up PISA again?